Hey everyone, hope everyone's doing good. Hope you all are doing happy and doing blessed and doing overall safe. Welcome to your Geek Report for the week of March the 18th and March the 25th of 2024. We're going to get started in TV and movie news. And our first news story is Star Wars The Acolyte. Its trailer dropped this past week. I'll be honest with you, I never expected a trailer for The Acolyte to drop. Okay, we have heard all this bad stuff going on about how it was turning out, who was behind it, all of it. I honestly did not think they would ever drop a trailer for it. Okay, but they did. We're going to take a look at it, and I'm just going to give you my overall opinions on it. Then, in other news, X-Men 97 dropped their two-episode premiere. I did watch it. I will be honest with you. I did enjoy it. I thought it was a good start. Now, if you don't know what X-Men 97 is, it is a continuation of the original X-Men cartoon series that came on in the 90s. I have very fond memories of that cartoon series. And now I'm watching this, and I'm going to kind of just give you my overall opinions on it. I will try to tell you right now, I will try to keep it spoiler free, but I am going to put a spoiler warning up for it, okay? In other news, a while back, Matt Reeves came out with the Batman. It was a Batman movie, okay? It starred Colin Farrell as the Penguin. Well, now the Penguin from that movie is getting a series over on Max, and they dropped a trailer, okay? So we're going to kind of take a look at the trailer, and I'm just going to give you my overall opinions of it. And then this kind of came out of left field, but Beetlejuice 2, titled Beetlejuice, dropped a trailer this past week. We're going to look at it, and we're going to see how it connects to the original Beetlejuice and just what I thought of it. And finally, in gaming news, we got a trailer for a game called Rise of Hydra 1943. This game is going to star Captain America and Black Panther in World War II. Okay, I'm really digging this trailer. Okay, now we're going to talk about what was on the screen and who's behind the screen and why I overall like this trailer. Okay, because I think they did a really good job with this gaming trailer, and I can't wait to see more of it. So let's get started with your geek report for the week of March the 18th through March the 25th of 2024. So let's get started for our TV and movie news segment. And we're going to get started with a trailer that dropped this past week. And the first trailer we're going to look at is The Acolyte. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I honestly did not expect to see a trailer for The Acolyte, okay? But the more I watch this trailer, the more I waffle back and forth. And it's because of a number of things. First off, it's the overall feel of the trailer. Secondly, it's the statements that Leslie Headland has made. Third, it's just the overall state of Star Wars. Okay. I mean, literally, it's the overall state of it. All right. And five, it's just the proxy fight that we all know is happening because we had some news related to the proxy fight this past week, also. So all that is kind of combining into a perfect storm to where I don't feel excited about this. And another thing is when it's taking place. Okay. So let me kind of explain when this is supposed to be taking place. So this is the Acolyte, and it's going to be taking place around 100 years before any of the movies. Before there was a Vader or an Anakin, before any of that, this is when it's taking place around 100 years before that. Okay, and it's taking place in a time frame known as the High Republic. Now, there's already been some books and comic books about the High Republic, and they were not very popular. Okay. Not for fans, and I think not for a lot of people. I mean, I think there are many who think of the High Republic as a joke. Okay. I mean, one of the characters they had in these books and comic books was a rock. Okay. Was literally a rock. Didn't talk or anything. It was just a rock. All right. So when people are making fun of a time frame, you have to ask yourself, why would they put a show in that time frame? Okay. And I honestly thought that after the backlash the High Republic got, that they would cancel the Acolyte or maybe move it somewhere else, move it in some other time frame. A time frame more popular with people. Okay. That didn't happen. Now, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I've done this like 5 or 6 times this recording because part of me is like, I want this to succeed, but I'm not finding anything that makes me excited about this series. Okay, I mean, I'm not. I mean, the only thing that looks inherently Star Wars, okay, the only thing is one ship and the lightsabers. That's it. And the ship could be a generic starship from any other space age story. Okay, there they can. All right. With that being said, okay, what makes this inherently Star Wars? And there ain't nothing in this trailer that does. Okay, the only thing that really makes this Star Wars is the lightsabers and maybe one ship that we see on here for 5 seconds. Another thing is that when you're watching the trailer, you want characters that you can connect with. Okay, you want characters that you can connect with. I couldn't connect with anybody, whether it be male or female. I literally could not connect with anybody. All right. There was no one in this series that made me like, oh, I can connect with this person. In The Mandalorian, all right, even the third season, you could connect with the Mandalorian, okay? Because he had no face. I mean, you saw the face in the end of season one, of course. But still, the majority of the time, he had no face. And that type of relationship with Grogu, everyone can connect with, okay? It's a fundamental connection. Okay. Even in season three, as much as I did not like season three, I can still connect with the Mandalorian. Okay. That that idea of loyalty and honor and all that stuff. Okay. I can connect with that. This right here, there ain't nothing really I can connect with. Okay. Nothing that really pulls me to want to watch this. Okay. And just some of the statements that Leslie Headland has made, about this not being for people like me, okay? That this being this or that. And then also the proxy fight. We had some news about that dropped this past week. I might or I might not talk about it. But that going on, just with everything going wrong with Star Wars, okay? I think it's that and just the overall feel of what I'm seeing in this trailer really doesn't make me excited to see it. I honestly do not wish to see this. Okay. Now, will I? I don't know. Okay. I mean, I honestly got Disney Plus back about a month ago. This would be the second month I've had back since around 2021. All right. And after what happened this past week with the proxy fight, which I might talk about later on, I really and honestly don't know whether or not I'm going to keep Disney Plus by the time this airs. I really don't. Okay. But we're going to take a look at this trailer. And I'm just going to stop it throughout the trailer and just give you some of my thoughts and opinions on it. But this here is the trailer for the Star Wars series, The Acolyte.
Close your eyes. Your eyes can deceive you.
Now, that right there is most assuredly from The Empire Strikes Back, and as well as the no Star Wars Episode 4. Okay, A New Hope. Okay, we know that Obi-Wan and Yoda both taught Luke Skywalker that. So that is still staying in the terms of the Jedi, okay? But here's my problem. Look in the background, okay? Just look at the background. Do you really see any like creature that is inherently Star Wars? Do you see any Bothans? Do you see any I mean, I guess these could be called Corellians, but you see like a creature in the background, an alien, of course. But that could be an alien that's from any other series, okay? Do you see anything that screams Star Wars? I mean, you don't really.
We must not trust them. Tell me what comes into your mind.
And I'm about to say something that's going to make a lot of people mad. But am I the only guy who doesn't feel like there's any characters they can connect with. Really. Okay? I mean, there really doesn't feel like any characters I can really connect with. And that's just and it's just like in this whole entire sequence like right here, that's jumping out at me, basically saying, "Oh, this show is meant for girls." And I'm okay with the show being meant for girls, okay? But you don't have to make it so overt. And that's exactly what they're doing here. You know, a while back, Kathleen Kennedy did this whole "the force is female" thing. Okay, I hated that because I always thought the Force was for everyone. That Star Wars was for everyone. But it's stuff like this, like the background. Like you see all these children here, and none of them can connect with someone like me. Okay, and you're sitting there and you're wanting to like something from Star Wars. I mean, I want to like this from Star Wars. Okay, but I can't because there's nothing for me to connect to. Okay, and it's just like in your face. That whole force is female nonsense again. Okay?
Life. Balance. I see fire.
Now there we got a shot of Carrie Ann Moss. She's obviously dressed up as a Jedi. Um, I don't know what's going on in this scene, but it looks good seeing her on screen again. I've not seen her really in anything action oriented since the original Matrix series. I know she did a Matrix movie a while back. I think it was called The Matrix Reloaded. But yeah, like it's good to see her back on screen. Now let's look back at that again. I want to look at that again, okay? Because I want you to see that again. Now, after all the sequences we've gotten recently with John Wick and Monkey Man, Beekeeper, would that hold up to that level, to that standard? No, it wouldn't. Okay. And I'm not saying the action sequences are going to be bad in this. I'm just saying what they chose right here does not really jump out at people who love Star Wars action. Okay. It just doesn't jump out at people. Okay. And that should be something that this trailer intended to do. You know, there was bad press for this trailer before this trailer came out. There was bad press for this series before it came out. Okay. And right now, they're not disputing any of that. If anything, they're proving it. I mean, there was a rumor going around that they spent $300 million on this series. Okay. I'm not seeing where that money went to. Where did that money go to? Because $300 million should be able to buy you better action than that. It should be able to buy you a better trailer than this. And I, I don't know what to think at this point. Okay. I just know I'm not liking this trailer so far. And maybe that's because of everything that's swirling around Disney right now, or maybe that's just the overall feel of the trailer. I'm trying my best to give it a shot, and it's not living up, and it's not giving me a chance to really get those expectations up. You know what I'm saying?
Someone is killing Jedi. It doesn't make sense.
Now, right there, we finally got another image of something that was Star Wars. We got you know, a picture of a creature like Chewbacca. Okay, I can't think of his name right now, but like, okay, there's something else that's Star Wars related, and we are what we are. Let's see, we're 56 seconds into I think it's like a minute and a half long trailer, somewhere in that neighborhood. So I think it's a minute and a half long, and we're already 56 seconds into the trailer, and we get our first, I guess you could call it Star Wars thing. I mean, Doesn't bode well. Doesn't bode well at all. Now, this scene I really don't like because, like, the Jedi are supposed to be honorable, okay? And in this scene right here, the Jedi is using his mind trick on someone, and it looks like a civilian. Now, we've seen this before. Obi-Wan used his mind trick on some kid in a bar to make him stop using certain things, okay? We saw that, okay? Now, on one hand, this Jedi could be doing this to help this guy remember what he saw, okay? Or on the other hand, he could be doing it to force the guy to remember what he saw. There's a vastly different take here, okay? And just based on everything I've heard from Leslie Headland about how this could be like the fall of the Jedi and stuff like that, I'm worried that this is the second rather than the first. The first I can handle. If it's the first one where it's like, okay, this guy doesn't remember what he saw, I'm going to help him remember, then okay. But if he's forcing this guy to tell him what he knows, forcing him, okay, then I'm not down with that, okay?
What happened?
I sensed darkness.
Now let me say this. That whole scene right there with the kicking and stuff, that was that was okay. Okay, I'm not gonna say it was horrible. I mean, what Carrie Ann Moss did earlier was okay also, but that's the point. Like all the action sequences I've seen so far are okay. I've not seen something that is on John Wick level or the Monkey Man level. Okay, the Monkey Man is this new trailer that just came out. I've not seen something on that level. And that's really what she needed, okay? What Leslie Headland needed. If they spun like $300 million on this series, they could at least shown some decent action. Not good action, great action from this series in this trailer, and they did. Okay? And it's beginning to make me feel like all the rumors we've heard about this series, about how bad it is, about how much it's cost and all this stuff is really coming to fruition. Now, see, there's another action sequence, okay? And literally, it's an okay sequence, but it's not great, you know? And look, who is this woman supposed to be? Is she an assassin? Why doesn't she have a red lightsaber yet? Is she going to get a red lightsaber? By this point in any other trailer, you would have already seen at least multiple lightsabers. Okay, but we've so far all we've seen is maybe one or two lightsabers. Okay, maybe one or two. Okay, and I'm just kind of wondering why. Why are they taking out something so iconic from Star Wars from this series? It's like they're doing that on purpose. Like they're taking out this icon from Star Wars. Okay, this big piece of Star Wars lore from Star Wars. Okay, and I just don't understand why they're doing that. Okay, and it's making it feel like not a Star Wars movie. Okay, even with all like the Force and all that other stuff, it doesn't feel like a Star Wars series. The Mandalorian felt Star Wars. Ahsoka felt like Star Wars. This, I don't know. I just don't feel it. I just don't feel the Star Wars in this series.
This isn't about good or bad. This is about power and who is allowed to use it.
What is that?
Okay, I want to look at this for a second. So we finally got a lightsaber, a decent lightsaber. I know we've gotten some before, but we got a red lightsaber. I want you to look at the hand and look at that robe there. Now we know the red lightsaber is the symbol of the Sith. Okay, I am beginning to wonder if maybe a Jedi does not fall from grace. Okay, I'm beginning to wonder that if maybe perhaps there is going to be a Jedi that falls from grace. All right, because of if you look at the end here, and it looks like she's wearing a Jedi or whoever this hand belongs to is wearing a Jedi cloak, but he's got a red lightsaber. Okay. So I'm wondering if in this scene we're seeing a Jedi fall from grace. And it's at the very end we get all the lightsabers. At the very end. And there we have the Acolyte. It premieres on June the 4th. Like I said before, I really don't know what I feel about this. Okay. I just know I don't like this trailer. And honestly, I'm not very excited to see the show at all. Okay. I mean, from what I heard, they've spent 300 million on this show alone. 300 million. Okay. And you're telling me this is the best they can do for a trailer? Really? The best they can do for a trailer, honestly? And on top of a terrible trailer, we get this news right here that George Lucas is backing Bob Iger in the proxy fight. Now, if you don't know what's going on with this, let me kind of explain what's going on. Okay. So basically, there is this guy named Nathan Peltz, and he wants more control over what projects Disney greenlights. Okay. He wants more control over it. All right. And they have not given him that control. Now, Nathan Peltz is known for fixing many IPs like Heinz and Pepsi and so forth. Okay. So he ain't some amateur. Now, for a while now, George Lucas has not spoken out on the proxy fight. Already, Nathan Peltz has gotten some people on his side of the board. Bob Iger, of course, has his people on his side of the board. And basically, what Nathan Peltz is trying to do is he's trying to get some more board seats on the shareholders board so that way he can control or have at least more say in what is made and what ain't made and what decisions are made at Disney. Because it seems like everything's being done by Bob Iger and his merry band of followers. Okay. Well, this past week, George Lucas came out in support of Bob Iger, which honestly shocked me. Okay. Which honestly shocked me. All right. And I know there are people out there who are saying, oh, this happened. That's why he did this and that's why he did that. It don't matter. What matters is that he did it. Okay. At this point. Now, does that lower my love for George Lucas and what he created? No. Does it feel like a betrayal? Yes. After everything that's happened to Star Wars, how could he back Bob Iger? Okay. But still, George Lucas is still an incredible creator, and I will love what he has created here. All right. But that's also weighing on what's going on here. You know, this trailer was not a very good trailer. It really didn't showcase what this series was all about. There really wasn't anything that stood out as Star Wars, except at the very end where you saw the Chewbacca type creature and you saw the lightsabers. Okay. It looks like they're going to do a Jedi who's falling from grace sort of thing. Okay. Um, and there wasn't really anything that made me want to watch this series. There wasn't anything that made me feel like I should connect with this series. The Mandalorian has something I wanted to connect with. Book of Boba Fett, same thing. And even Ahsoka, Star Wars Visions, everything in Star Wars that I've seen so far, while I may not have loved it or liked it, at least there was something in there I could connect with. This series right here doesn't feel like there's anything I can connect with. Okay. And I've tried my best. I've watched this like 6 or 7 times to try and find something that I can connect with. And there ain't anything. There ain't anything that screams, hey, you can connect with this character. You can connect with that character. There ain't. There just ain't. Okay. And this is going to be, in my opinion, another blunder. And already I know what's going to happen. They're going to sit there and they're going to call the fans names like they've always done. When something fails, they call the fans names. Okay? We know the names. We know what those names are going to be. And it's their modus operandi at this point. Okay? It's like the 5 o'clock train. It always comes on 5 o'clock. When a Star Wars series fails, they sit there and they blame the fans, calling them this or that. When in reality, it's just a bad series. Okay, I mean, it's almost like clockwork. I can already see them putting forth this idea of why this failed because because of toxic fans. Okay, we fans want Star Wars to succeed. We wish for it to succeed. We want good Star Wars stuff. Okay, but you're not giving it to us. You're giving us this nonsense, this garbage. Okay, like what Kathleen Kennedy said a while back. There are no good Star Wars stories for them to take from. That is the biggest load of bull I've ever heard. Are you telling me there is nothing in the EU that she could have taken and done like some Star Wars standalone movies that happened after, before, or during the movies? Are you kidding me? Now, something that Leslie Headland has said has given me a glimmer of hope. And she said that they were going to use some stuff from the EU. But here's my problem with that. Okay. I'm afraid they're going to not use anything from Legends. I think they're going to use stuff from the High Republic books and comics. Okay. I honestly think that that's what they're going to do. I wish they would take characters and moments from the Legends books, the books that happened before Disney bought Star Wars, and they would start adapting them into movies and TV shows and stuff. Okay? I mean, we've already seen a hint of that in Ahsoka with Grand Admiral Thrawn. But, like, seriously, there are so many great stories and so many great characters in the old Legends universe, and you're telling me you can't adapt one of them? Give me a break. So, the only glimmer of hope I have, and it is a sliver of a glimmer, is that Leslie Headland is smart enough to not take anything from the High Republic books or comics. Okay. Now she has flat out said there's going to be characters from the High Republic books and comics in this series. Okay. Okay, it takes place in that time frame very well. But if she's smart enough, she will start looking through the extended universe, the old Legends universe, and start picking things out to put in this series. That's my only like small glimmer of hope. Because if she can do it, then that means that other creators can do it also. Okay, that is my small glimmer of hope. You know what I'm saying? But overall, I do not like this trailer. Okay. And I really wanted to like this trailer. Okay. I really wanted to enjoy the Acolyte. Okay. I gave it a chance. I watched this trailer like 7 times, but there was nothing in here I really liked that really connected me with this series. So the question is, will I end up watching this series? I'm going to give it a shot. Okay. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm going to give it a shot. Okay. But this trailer does not make me hopeful for this series. It don't make me hopeful. Okay. And whether or not I still have Disney when this premieres is still up in the air. Just after what happened with George Lucas and Bob Iger. Okay. Just after what happened with George Lucas backing him instead of Nathan Peltz after everything that we have experienced with Star Wars. Okay. And I still think there's something hinky going on there. Okay. I have a glimmer of hope that maybe there was something hinky going on. That maybe it wasn't George himself who made the decision. Maybe it was someone who was handling his affairs that did. Okay. But still, even if that's the truth, George left this person in charge of Star Wars. He should have known who he was leaving in charge. Okay. Still, I don't like the Acolyte so far. I mean, they need to do a better job on a trailer. Do a trailer that gets everyone excited for it. No matter where you come from, that has something that everyone can connect to. In this trailer, it just felt like it was trying to connect to a certain group of people. Okay. But this is the trailer for the Acolyte. It comes out on June the 4th. It's going to have a 2-episode premiere. Like I said before, I'm not very excited for this series. And honestly and truly, I don't think there's going to be many Star Wars fans who are. Okay, now let's move on to our next movie and TV segment. Okay, so before I begin this next segment, I am going to put a spoiler warning right here. Okay, so from this moment on, there is going to be possible spoilers for the original X Men cartoon series as well as X Men '97. Okay, so spoiler warning from this moment on. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Warning, you've been warned. Spoilers from this moment on. So I was really concerned about X-Men '97. Okay, I'm just going to be honest. With everything coming out, with all these rehashes and stuff, I really thought that they were basically, you know, were probably going to try and ruin it somehow. But then I started hearing about how the original voice actors were coming back, how it was a continuation and not some type of reimagining. And I got a little bit more excited for it. And I was really curious to see what they brought. And I was not disappointed. I absolutely love both of these episodes. Now, to truly understand these episodes, you have to look back to the original cartoon series that came out in the 90s, okay, where it left off. All right. So, in the final episode of that series, okay, Charles Xavier was speaking before the United Nations. He was trying to create better relations between normal humans and mutants. At the same time, Magneto had had enough. He had built an army in Genosha, and he was getting ready to wage war on humanity, essentially. Okay, he was basically getting ready to wage war on humanity. All right. While Charles Xavier is speaking at the United Nations, he's attacked by a weapon that severely injures him, both in the mental problems, with his abilities, as well as physically. It severely injures him. Okay, so he's in the bed and he's getting ready to die, and he asks Magneto to come to the X Mansion because even though they disagree on things, him and Magneto are still very close friends. Okay, while there, they meet the Landra, an alien that they have made friends with, comes to the X Mansion and says it is possible to save Charles Xavier, but he has to leave Earth. Okay, so in the final episode, before he dies, he leaves with Landra to go and try and heal. Okay, that's where this picks up. This picks up several months after those events. The first episode is a couple of points. First off, it's tying up the loose ends of the original series, okay? Because you have the Friends of Humanity getting these specialized weapons that are obviously built by Sentinels, that are obviously based off Sentinel technology, which was the giant robots that were designed to attack mutants, okay? These weapons were obviously built by Sentinels or based off Sentinel technology. And they had captured a young mutant and they were going to use him as basically a guinea pig when the X-Men come in and do their thing. Now, the X-Men in this case are made up of Storm, Rogue, Gambit, Wolverine, Jubilee, and Cyclops. Jean Grey is still there, but she is very much pregnant at this point. Okay, she is very much waiting to give birth, on the edge of giving birth. So while she is still there, she's not an active member of the team. Okay, so the whole entire episode is about the X-Men trying to find out where these weapons are coming from. They've made nice with the United Nations, and the United Nations has made nice with them. And it's all about trying to find out where the Friends of Humanity are getting these weapons. And at the end, they finally find out and they take them down. The second episode is really where it kicks into high gear. At the end of the first episode, okay, Magneto comes to the X Mansion and he's holding a book. And basically, it's the last will and testament of Charles Xavier. Okay. And in this book, he basically gives everything that Charles Xavier owns to Magneto in hopes that Magneto will turn or different leaf or bring about better relations between humans and mutants. Okay. So then we come to episode 2, and that's where things really kick off. Now for a moment here, let's focus on what I said. The last will and testament of Charles Xavier. Now, this can mean one or two things. First off, it can mean he died. I'm not buying that. Okay, I just can't buy that at this moment. Okay. The second thing it means is that the X-Men had to create a cover story to explain the absence of Charles Xavier. So they told the world he died when really he went with Lilandra. Eventually, he's going to come back and they'll create another cover story about how he had to go into hiding to heal and stuff. Okay, so they have to play along with terms of the last will and testament of Charles Xavier. Okay, and it gives Magneto essentially all access to everything Charles Xavier owns: the X Mansion, the jets, the technology, the X Men, all of it. Okay, so as you can probably guess, the X Men are not very happy about this. Okay, they are very much not happy about this. And let me turn my phone off here for a second. So they are not happy about this. Okay, they're just not happy about this. They still see Magneto as this evil guy, even as he's going out and helping people, both humans and mutants alike. Well, around halfway through the episode, the United Nations comes for Magneto. Okay, and they are armed to the teeth, and the X-Men are getting ready to protect Magneto, and the United Nations is getting ready to go full bore Rock and Roll Express to take him down because people want a trial. They want their pound of flesh. Okay, so Magneto voluntarily goes with the United Nations, and they have their trial. And before this, we got hints of something. In the first part of this episode, we got hints of something going on between him and Rogue. We're going to come back to that later on. Okay. Now, as this series is starting, Rogue and Gambit are obviously in a relationship. Okay. It is obvious. Okay. But there's definitely something going on between Magneto and Rogue before he is taken away by the United Nations. Well, he starts having his trial, and the witnesses come forward, and all the while, the Friends of Humanity are protesting outside. They want their pound of flesh. Okay. Well, there's a villain called the Executioner. He has developed a weapon that can strip mutants of their powers. Okay. He intends to use the protests to come in and basically take down Magneto, strip him of his powers, make him powerless. Okay. So the X-Men are called in to help keep order. The Friends of Humanity break into basically the United Nations and give Executioner his shot. Storm sees this and takes basically the bullet for Magneto, and she is stripped of her powers. Magneto, in a rage, literally lifts the Executioner and the United Nations Tribunal up into the upper atmosphere, and basically makes it clear in no uncertain terms he has changed, but that it would be easy for him to turn back to the way he was before. That he is extremely angry at what has happened. Not at the trial, but at the fact that they allowed Storm to be stripped of her powers, to be stripped of a part of her identity. Okay? All right. Afterwards, he is released and they are going to give support to Genosha, the new mutant homeland, they're calling it, and all that. Couple of points here. Let's start with Rogue and Magneto. Before Magneto is taken away, okay, Magneto and Rogue, there's obviously something going on between them. But Rogue is with Gambit because it's very evident in the first episode and the second episode, there's definitely something going on with Gambit and Rogue. They are in a relationship. But it's obvious in the very first part of the second episode that there is some history between Magneto and Rogue. Towards the end of the episode, you see an image where basically Gambit is watching as Rogue is sneaking out of Magneto's office. Okay. When I first saw this, I thought, okay, they're not going down the road I think they're going down. They can't, okay? Because Rogue looks like she could be Magneto's daughter, okay? She is as young to be as Magneto's daughter, okay? I just could not imagine them going down that road of an actual lover relationship. Okay. But then I found out there is a comic book storyline that actually details this. And I was like, wait, are they really doing that? So at this point, I'm kind of torn on this. I'm torn on the fact that maybe they are doing the whole like Magneto and Rogue relationship where they're lovers or a relationship with their father and daughter. Okay. And remember, if you remember from the cartoons, Rogue was adopted. So we really don't know who her family is. Okay. Her family's identity is kind of a mystery at this point. Okay. So I'm kind of torn on this because that would be a great storyline, but it would be kind of creepy too. Okay. Because Magneto is as old as her father. Okay. So, like, unless there was something else, and in the scene, they made it seem like when Rogue touched Magneto, that somehow not only did she get his powers, but she was able to actually physically touch him and not drain him like she did everyone else. Okay? So I'm really intrigued by this storyline because, first off, you have the whole relationship. Okay? I mean, are they really going to go down that road where Rogue is going to be going out with a man who could be her father? Okay? And what about Gambit? How is he going to react to this? Is he going to join some type of mutant extremist or something? Is he going to go completely against Magneto? I mean, it's setting up a bunch of storylines with that. Then there's Storm. Storm has been completely stripped of her powers because of the shot she took from Magneto. Okay. And you saw her basically becoming scared of weather in the episode. Okay. You saw her basically become scared of no longer having control over her environment like she's always had. Since she was a girl, since she had her powers, she's always had control over her environment. And now you saw her sitting in this bed and a storm waves outside and she's scared. And at the end of the episode, she leaves the X Mansion. She leaves the X Men. And as she left the X Men, I had a thought in my head. Could this be how they introduced Black Panther? Okay. Could this possibly be how they introduced Black Panther? And if you're kind of curious about that, let me kind of lay it out for you. There is a storyline where Black Panther married Storm. Okay. So my thinking is this, is that could they be laying that out? Could they be laying it out where throughout the episodes we get glimpses of Storm like making her way around the world? Okay. She's basically doing a walkabout. Somehow she finds herself in Wakanda, okay? Or she discovers it or something. She likes it there. She's slowly getting adjusted to no longer having powers. When T'Challa, Black Panther, come to her and basically say, hey, we can give you your powers back. And in the process of them doing this, Storm and T'Challa fall in love and get married. Okay? So could we be looking at a possible way for them to use Storm to bring back Panther into this universe, into this cartoon? Because I do not remember Black Panther ever premiering on the X-Men cartoon show. Okay? So this would be a pretty decent way of them doing that in terms of like bringing him into it. And if they brought Black Panther, it's quite possible they can bring the Avengers. Now I do remember there was an episode where it was like a flashback episode with Wolverine where he was fighting alongside Captain America against Hydra. Okay. But I don't really remember a time where Wolverine and Captain America were in like the modern day setting and all that. So this could be a way for them to bring the Avengers into the modern day in this cartoon series. Okay. This could be that way. All right. And if they did that, that would be cool. I think that would be awesome. Okay. I just think it's setting up a whole bunch of stories. Okay. And then there's the ending. In the end, okay, Jean Grey had her baby with Scott Summers. They named it Nathan. And as they're in the living room, a knock comes on the door, and someone falls through the door, and it's a woman that looks exactly like Jean Grey. Okay, what's going on here? That's really interesting. Now, I know there's a storyline where Dr. Sinister created a clone of Jean Grey to try and get his hands on baby Nathan. Okay, so could that be going on? Okay. And if that's true, then more than likely, we're dealing with a storyline that was called Utopia. Okay. And this storyline comes from the comics, and it's basically where the X-Men, with Magneto's help, create a safe haven called Utopia. Okay. Now, I don't know a whole lot about this storyline. I just know the basic fundamentals of it. The X-Men, Magneto, a safe haven, Utopia. But in the cartoon, it was obvious that Genosha had been made the mutant homeland. Okay. So how is Utopia going to fit into this? Okay. All right. And how is what's going on with Rogue and Magneto going to fit into it? I mean, how is what's going on with Storm going to fit into it? Right now, I absolutely loved the first two episodes. Okay. Even the first episode. The first episode was really a reintroduction of the X-Men. Okay. Yes, it had Roberto and it had the Friends of Humanity, but it was basically reintroducing us to these characters. Okay. The animation was crisp. It brought back so many feels of how the animation was done. The voice actors, many of them who played on the original series, came back for this. I really enjoyed both of these episodes. But if you're like an action fan, then it really won't kick in the action until the second episode. Okay. But yeah, like I really enjoyed these episodes. I thought this was a really good start to the series. And for once, I didn't feel like I was being lectured about this or that. It was just good entertainment. Some of the things I think is going to happen, okay, and this is just my personal thoughts on it. Just some of the things that are going to happen, okay. First off, I think they are going to use Storm to bring in Black Panther, and if they bring in Black Panther, they're going to bring in the Avengers. Now, I don't think they're going to do it this season. I think they'll wait till season 2 or season 3 at the most, okay. But yeah, I think they're going to bring in Black Panther through Storm. Okay, I think she's going to find her way to Wakanda. Okay, and she's going to fall in love with T'Challa, the Black Panther, and they're going to get married. Okay, I think that's what's going to happen. I think the reason she finds herself to Wakanda is because of the loss of her powers. Okay, I think that's why they did all that. I think that another thing that's going to happen is we're going to get more information about the Magneto and Rogue relationship. I still just don't understand. I still just don't see how they're going to do the relationship. Okay, but the more I've watched the episode, and I saw it like 3 or 4 times, the more I came to realize that yeah, this is going to be a lover relationship. So I think this is really going to drive a wedge between her and Gambit, obviously. But I think this probably will cause Gambit to leave. Okay. And I think he will. I think Gambit might very well become an enemy of the X-Men at some point because of this. Okay. I think they're going to force Gambit out based on this. I think Rogue is going to hurt him so much, so badly, that it's going to come down to her making a choice between Gambit and Magneto. She's going to choose Magneto, and it's going to hurt Gambit so bad that he's going to leave. Okay. I think we haven't seen the last of the Friends of Humanity, obviously. I don't think we've seen the last of the Sentinels, obviously. I mean, that tech is out there, and I think that what you'll probably start seeing. Now, remember, this is taking place in 97, okay? I think what you'll probably start seeing is more of what we experience today in terms of social media and stuff. I think you'll start seeing more of that integrated into it. I think you'll start seeing Scott and Jean take a step back from the X-Men. Let the other X-Men kind of do their thing, okay? Including Magneto. And I think you'll see Scott and Jean try to start up the school side of things. Because remember, this was once a school for gifted children. Okay, so I think you'll see that. I think you'll start seeing Scott and Jean becoming more teachers than X-Men. Okay, I don't think it's going to happen all at once, but I think that's what they're driving towards. I think you're going to see some more characters that weren't introduced in the original cartoon series. The first one that comes to mind is obviously the Avengers. Okay, I think that if they bring back Black Panther in through Storm, then obviously they're going to bring in the Avengers. Okay, it would be kind of cool if they were voice acted by by Tony Stark and all of them, by Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, etc. Okay, I don't think they're going to do it all like in one shot. I think that if they do introduce the Avengers, they'll do like separate episodes for each Avenger. Another another person that comes to mind is obviously X-23. If you don't know who she is the clone of Wolverine. She's a female clone of Wolverine that was created by Hydra, but eventually rebels against Hydra, and I think that she will probably be introduced as well. Okay. Um, I enjoy these episodes. I flat out enjoyed them. Okay. It brought back so many memories and it just had that feel of when I watched these. Because when I was watching this, I was going through high school. Okay. I was going through junior high and high school. I would literally get up on Saturday mornings just to watch the X-Men. And it came on like at 11 o'clock my time. So I absolutely love these episodes. The question is, will they keep what's been established here? Okay. Or are they going to try to go down that road of throwing more woke nonsense at us? I really, really hope they don't. Okay. And I know there are people out there who are saying, oh, it's a bait and switch. They get you with the first two episodes and then they start throwing all this woke nonsense at you. You are absolutely right. That is absolutely true. No doubt. Absolutely. Okay. I'm not denying that at this point. But as of right now, with these two episodes, I thoroughly enjoy them. And I really do hope they don't throw this woke nonsense at us later down the road. Okay. Because I see so much potential in this. Okay. And if this works out, imagine if they brought back Spider-Man. You remember the original like Spider-Man cartoon series where it ended where he went to find Mary Jane in the Spider-Verse with the help of Madam Web. That would be something incredible right there. They can introduce Mary Jane as Jackpot. She's now a superhero in her own right in the comic books. They can do that now. Okay? So, yeah, I am full on board with this, okay, as of right now. Now, I'm going to wait for the season to end before I give you a proper review if I still have Disney Plus at this moment, okay? If I still have Disney Plus at this moment. So, yeah, I am full on board with this as of right now, okay? Full on board. I'm loving what I've seen in the first two episodes. And absolutely, it could be a bait and switch where they get you with the first two episodes and then they start throwing this nonsense at you. Okay. And I really hope that is not the case. I really hope that is not the case. Okay. Because I enjoyed these first two episodes. I really did. Okay. But if they start doing that, then that's just going to ruin my memories of this. Okay? Because I have such fond memories of the X-Men cartoon show, along with the Spider-Man cartoon show. And I think that if they do this right, then they can bring back Spider-Man as well. Okay? They can even add a Spider-Verse element to it. Because if you remember at the end of the original Spider-Man series, he went with Madam Web to try and find Mary Jane Watson. Okay? She was lost in the Spider-Verse or multiverse or something like that. So that could be a way they bring him back as well. Okay, is that after finally finding her, they come back home and it's like 3 years later or something like that. Okay, full on. So yeah, like I'm full on board with this. I hope they don't start throwing this woke nonsense at us. I hope they keep what made the show great, great. They've thrown down a lot of storylines from the Rogue and Magneto storyline to the Gambit and Rogue storyline. They've thrown down the storyline concerning Scott and Jean. they've thrown down the storyline concerning Storm, concerning everything going on in terms of mutant and human relations, the Friends of Humanity, all that. Okay, they threw down a lot of storylines that I think that could potentially pay off later on. Okay, I'm just kind of shocked that they would actually do a storyline where Rogue and Magneto were lovers, okay, and actually lovers. And that ending scene, you could not help but feel for Gambit, okay? When Gambit was sitting there in the corner and he watched as Rogue snuck out of Magneto's office, okay, you just could not help but feel for him because he loves Rogue in his own way, and Magneto loves her in his way, okay? And you know, Gambit is there thinking, "Oh, I've got this perfect girl. Yeah, I can't touch her because she'll steal my powers, but yeah, I've got this girl that I love without all the trappings that come with it." And then back in the background, you see Rogue and Magneto, and you don't know what type of relationship they got, but you know something's going on. And Magneto loves Rogue in his own way, and she's caught in the middle, but you still can't help feel for Gambit because you just saw that look on his face. You know what I'm saying? That look of betrayal. And whether something happened or not, which I don't think at this point something happened. Well, maybe it did, But like when you saw that look, you saw that and you felt that look of betrayal, okay? And you saw how badly it hurt him. So yeah, I am full on board with this. They've laid down a lot of storylines. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. I think we're going to see more modern characters brought into us. I would not be surprised if we saw X-23, if we saw the Avengers, most surely Black Panther, because I think that they are going to use Storm to bring back Black Panther into this. Okay. I think we're going to see more modern storylines in terms of other characters. Maybe Ghost Rider. Maybe I remember us seeing Shield and seeing the Nick Fury Shield. Okay, but I don't think it was the modern day Nick Fury. Okay, so I would not be surprised if we saw that Red Skull, Hydra. I, the door is open for what they can do at this point. Okay, and just what they've laid down and how these characters have grown over the months since Charles Xavier left, died, whatever. And I still don't believe he's dead. I think he's going to come back. I think the whole dying thing was just a cover story for them to throw out there. Okay, the death certificate, all of it was just a cover story. Okay, and also I think there's also a decent storyline to be had about Scott and Jean and how they are going to restart the school. I think that Scott and Jean are going to step away from the active part of the X-Men and restart the school and start teaching mutants again, like Charles Xavier taught them. Okay, so I am full on board with this. I'm thoroughly enjoying the 2 episodes I've seen so far of X-Men 97. It is a continuation of the original X-Men series. I'm full on loving it, and I think that if it is successful, it kind of opens the door for them to do Spider-Man, and maybe even I think there was a Fantastic Four cartoon series, if I remember correctly. So yeah, it could open those doors as well. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this, and I can't wait to see more episodes of it. So now, moving on to our next segment is another movie trailer. Now, this is for The Penguin, which is going to be a series that's going to be coming on Cinemax this fall. Okay, and it's based off the Matt Reeves The Batman movie. Okay, I've not seen The Batman yet. I heard it was okay. I've actually heard it was pretty good, but I've not seen that yet. But we're going to take a look at this trailer, and just as someone who's not seen that movie, I'm going to kind of give you some of my thoughts and opinions on it. So this here is the trailer for The Penguin.
When I was a kid, there's a gangster. Real old school type. Rex Calabrese. He was a big deal. He helped people. He saw you on the street, he'd call out to you. When I'm 14 or something, he has a heart attack and dies. Still holding a cigar.
Now, already I'm liking what I'm seeing here because it's got a real dark and gritty feel to it. It's also laying the groundwork for why the Penguin became a gangster. Okay, why he chose to do that because he idolized this other gangster apparently. So I'm liking that as well. But also, I'm liking the fact that it's making it feel like The Sopranos in the DC universe. You know what I'm saying? The life of a gangster in a world filled with heroes. So that's the feeling I'm getting from it so far.
In my neighborhood, they throw a parade in his honor. A friggin' parade. I mean, it wasn't fancy, but it was a gesture. A show of love. Of what he meant. Can you imagine to be remembered like that?
So that was the trailer for the Penguin. It's coming out this fall. There is no release date set for it yet. But let me just say this, okay? Let me just flat out say this. This was a good trailer. I liked this trailer a lot. I thought this trailer was really well done. My problem is that I've not seen the Matt Reeves the Batman. I really need to see it, but I've not seen the Batman because I really don't know where this and where that is going to take place and what's coming next from DC. Okay? Because they're doing this whole DC new universe stuff, okay? And I really don't know where this is going to take place in that time frame. I just and that's really my main problem is that I don't have enough experience with the Matt Reeves of Batman. And part of me wants to see it, but another part of me is like, why if it ain't gonna play a part in what's coming next from DC? You know what I'm saying? If it ain't gonna be this whole gods and monsters stuff that they're putting out there. All right. But I will say that I did like this trailer. I thought this was a really good trailer. Does it make me want to get Cinemax and HBO Max and all that? No, it doesn't. Okay, it doesn't. Okay, and that's just because I just don't know enough about it to really make that determination. But that was the Penguin TV series. It's coming on Max. It's going to come this fall 2024. It's going to star Colin Farrell still. Um, like I said before, it looks like a good trailer. It feels like The Sopranos and this world inhabited by heroes like Superman and Wonder Woman and all that. I just don't know how I feel about it, being that I've never seen the Batman Matt Reeves film, and that's what this is based off of. Okay, so I really don't know how I feel about it at this time. But I thought the trailer was well done, and I really thought it set a decent tone for what I think is probably going to be a great series. So, in our final bit of TV and movie news, we are finally gotten a trailer for the sequel to the original Beetlejuice, which came out like in 1988, and it is being titled Beetlejuice Beetlejuice. Now, I'm just going to call it Beetlejuice 2 because that's like a tongue twister in itself. But it is coming out this September, and it's still going to have Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice. Okay, so let's take a look at the trailer, and I'll give you some of my thoughts and opinions on it. Now, that song right there, that was at the very end of Beetlejuice. It was kind of like a joke that Beetlejuice pulled on the family. So it's good to see them bring that song back. Now, it didn't sound like this. It sounded like really Caribbean at the time. So they have changed it up a little bit, but you can definitely, see the no connection between this one and the original Beetlejuice. And also, if I'm not mistaken, that school is where the daughter went to school at. So there's that going on as well. So there's already a lot of connections to the original Beetlejuice.
Daylight come and we want to go.
So this right here was the mother. Now, in the original Beetlejuice, you had a married couple who died in a car wreck, and this family moved into their home, but the original couple was still ghosts. Okay, and eventually they all like started getting together and finally, came to an understanding. So something has happened here to the new family, to the family that was still alive in the original one.
Mr. Tallyman, tally me banana. Daylight come and we want to go. Me say day, me say day, me say day, me say day, me say.
Now I'm looking back on the ones they showed, and let me see if I can't find it here. Okay, that looks like the original daughter. Okay, I'm not 100% sure, but that looks like the original daughter, who at the very end summoned Beetlejuice, Michael Keaton. Okay, and had to unsummon him afterwards. Okay, so I'm kind of wondering like what's going on here. I mean, I know there's a funeral here, and it's obviously for the husband of the original family. Okay, so I'm kind of wondering why are they bringing Beetlejuice back?
Mr. Tallyman, tally me banana. Daylight come and we want to go.
Now I remember this table. It was part of Beetlejuice. It's where they basically first met him. So it's good to see that back as well. There's already a lot of links to the original Beetlejuice. Okay, but already one of the things that I am seeing is that there are slight differences. Okay, so there's definitely some slight differences going on.
Me say day, me say day, me say day, me say day, me say day. Daylight come and we want to go.
The juice is loose.
Now I love that. Okay, where he says the juice is loose because it feels like something that Beetlejuice would say after being cooped up for so long. It just feels like it. So I think Michael Keaton is still channeling Beetlejuice even after all this time of being away. So yeah.
The juice is loose.
Now that last scene right there, okay, it makes him look like he's angry. Okay. Now I remember Beetlejuice being more goofy than angry. Okay. So I don't know what's going on with this. Okay. Like, is he weakened? I mean, what? So he looks a lot more angry here than he did in the original. Because I remember in the original he was a lot more goofy. So I don't know. Maybe something happened while he was locked away or something, but whatever. So it's being directed by Tim Burton. Let me just say this, okay? Is that this looks pretty decent, okay? And I'm not really a whole big fan of them doing sequels to old properties. Okay, I mean it depends on how they do it. Okay, now does this make me want to jump up and go and watch it? No, not really, because I wasn't really a hardcore Beetlejuice fan. You know, I mean, I enjoy the movie, don't get me wrong, but it's one of those things that you enjoy as a kid, but then you kind of grow out of. So I really don't know how I feel about this, except that it looks like a good trailer, but I remember Beetlejuice as being goofy. You know what I'm saying? As being like this wild card in what was going on. Okay. So, like, I don't know about him being angry because there's that last scene. If I can find it here, like right there, there's that scene right there. And let me kind of scratch my ear a little bit. And there's that scene right there where he looks angry. All right. He looks mad. And I don't remember him being like full on mad. I remember him being more goofy than mad. So I'm kind of wondering if they're changing it up a little bit. Okay. But yeah, we're getting a sequel to the original Beetlejuice. It's coming out this September 2024. Um, I mean, I really don't know how I feel about it right now. You know what I'm saying? It looks good. It looks like they're keeping a lot of the elements of the original Beetlejuice. It's just that one image where he looks like he's mad. That doesn't seem like Beetlejuice. That doesn't seem like Beetlejuice at all. Because I remember him more as being just goofy than mad. But I could be wrong about that. Okay. It's been so long since I've seen Beetlejuice. But yeah, they're coming out with new Beetlejuice. It's coming out this September. I want to see another trailer before I say yay or nay on this. But yeah, it looks okay so far. So now let's move on to gaming news, and which is going to probably be our last bit of news for this week. And a trailer came out this week that I want to kind of tell you about, okay, that has really piqued my interest. And that is 1943 The Rise of Hydra. Now, this is a Marvel video game, but it's being developed and being created by Amy Hennig. If you don't know who that is, she did the Uncharted series, okay? Which I personally think was some of the best video games you'll ever play. The Uncharted games are some of the best video games you will ever play, and she did a great job on it. Okay, so let's take a look at this trailer, and I'm going to give you some of my thoughts and opinions on it.
They're combing the streets.
So the first thing I can tell right now that this is taking place in World War II. Okay, so this is not going to be a modern setting for the game. This is going to be like World War II setting.
Searching house to house.
If they arrest you two, they will take you to their headquarters, and you will not return.
So we got Captain America already, and the scratch marks are right there are going to be Black Panther.
I'm more concerned with the 6-foot cat man who's got claws that can cut through vibranium alloy.
Okay, so this is being done by Skydance. I don't ever remember hearing them doing another game, so this could be their first game.
By my count, that makes 2 super soldiers loose in Paris.
3, counting you.
And that's too many.
Now, when he said that makes 3, I'm kind of wondering if they're going to bring out Master Man in this. If you don't know who that is, that was kind of like the Hydra version of Captain America. They called him Master Man. He basically was like an equal to Captain America. So
I'll be there before the sun rises. Before the Germans, before that American. The Eye of Force has been found.
So we are getting Hydra back.
Please.
Which, as I think about it now, if Hydra is coming back, okay, if I can get it back here, if Hydra is coming back, could we be getting the Red Skull? Could we be getting Arnim Zola? So who will be the main bad guy? Because I think that when he said, okay, there's 3 super soldiers in the city. There's Black Panther, Captain America, and a third. I think he was talking about Master Man. Okay, because it all fits. Hydra and the super soldier fits with the idea of Master Man. Okay, so I think that that will be like the bad guy they fight, but I don't think it'll be the bad guy. I'm wondering if they're going to bring back Red Skull or Arnim Zola or maybe even Modok, but I doubt they would do Modok. Modok is more modern. So yeah, like I think anything they could do Lady Viper. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw Lady Viper in this. So yeah, that we are getting Hydra back.
Please, just stick to the rooftops. Be careful, stand Wasami.
When am I not?
Now, something I'm noticing is that in this game, it seems like Black Panther and Captain America are at odds. So I'm kind of wondering what that's all about.
It's better if I tackle this one alone.
You may encounter some obstacles.
That won't be a problem. Our cat friend is definitely here too. By the look of things, he's not very far ahead.
The American boy is right on your heels.
Who the hell are you?
If you wanted us dead, we'd be dead. So what do you want?
Answers.
That's far enough!
Stay out of my way!
Stand aside!
I do not take orders from anyone!
I don't have time for this.
Neither do I.
Okay, so that was the Rise of Hydra. So I'm beginning to wonder as I watch that trailer if you can choose who you play as, either Cap or Black Panther. Okay, because I'm kind of wondering if that's the choice they're going to give you. Like you play as Cap and you get one set of skills, and you play as Black Panther and you get another set of skills. And that throughout the game, not only do you have to deal with Hydra, but you have to deal with whoever is opposing you. Like if you're Cap, it'll be Black Panther. If you're Black Panther, it'd be Captain America. I think we are definitely getting Hydra back. We obviously saw that, and it's obviously called the Rise of Hydra. But I think that in terms of who we could be getting back, I think that that one line where he said there are three super soldiers in this town, and obviously it was taking place in Paris. That I think that they were talking about not just Captain America and Black Panther, but I think more than likely Master Man. Now they could be talking about Red Skull, so we could be getting a situation where we have Master Man, which is basically the Hydra equivalent of Captain America, where we get Master Man, but he's controlled by Red Skull, or we could just flat out get Red Skull. Now, if we didn't get Red Skull, I could see us getting Arnim Zola or maybe even Lady Hydra or Lady Viper, I should say, Lady Viper. But yeah, like that was Rise of Hydra 1943. There is really no release date yet, as far as I know. Yeah, yeah, it just says coming in 2025. It doesn't have like consoles or anything. I suspect it would probably be a PS. It would either be PC, PS5, and Xbox. But yeah, like I don't think it would just be PC. I think it would be across the board. I don't think it would be like PS4, obviously. But like PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC definitely. Let me say this looks good. This is being done by Amy Hennig. I really think that if they do give you a choice of who to play as, whether you play as Panther or Cap, I think that would be kind of awesome. So that way you play as Cap and you get one story. You play as Panther, you get a wholly different story. And each person has their own basic skills and whatnot. Okay. So I'm kind of wondering if that's something they're going to do. But yeah, it looks really interesting. I can't wait to hear more information about it. more than likely, we'll probably get more information at Summer Games Fest, you know. But I think this was just the prime people to keep an eye open for this. But it definitely looks interesting. It definitely looks good. I'm really liking what I saw in terms of just the gameplay. And I know it's a trailer, okay? I get it was a cinematic trailer, but just what they alluded to in this trailer has got me excited for it. But yeah, that was Rise of Hydra, 1943. It's a Marvel game. It's coming from Amy Hennig, and it looks really, really interesting in my book. So that was your Geek Report for the week of March the 18th through March the 25th of 2024. Just to kind of look back over what we all talked about. We got a trailer for the Star Wars The Acolyte. The X-Men 97 series dropped its 2-episode premiere, and I kind of talked about that. The Penguin TV series that's coming on over on Max dropped its series trailer, and we talked about that. And the Beetlejuice 2 trailer, Beetlejuice dropped also. And in gaming news, we talked about a gaming trailer that really piqued my interest, which was called Rise of Hydra 1943. That was coming from Amy Hennig, who did Uncharted, and is starring Black Panther and Captain America. I hope you guys are doing good. I hope you guys are staying safe and staying healthy. Check out my other video sites and social media at the end of this video. You guys take care of yourselves, watch over each other, be groovy, be cool, and I will see y'all in the next video and in the next stream. Laters.